What's going on, guys? It's Blake from Team Primetime. I just got first with Brandon Despia at Flashpoint Games in Jonesville. I thought I'd show you all the deck list like I did last time with Infernoble, and just see what you guys think about it. So here we go. Boom. 3 Owlbear. Still one of our best normal summons in the deck. Just does too much for the deck. Here, I'll flip it around. He's too good not to play. So, it's your best starter. Gets you access to any of your branded spells, not just Brain Diffusion. Most people think just, grab Brain Diffusion with this. You're not just grabbing Brain Diffusion. You're grabbing in red, Lost, in white. So, just any of those. In High Spirits if you need to. Boom. 3 copies of Albaz. Heart and Soul of the deck. You have to play 3. You hate to see it in your opening hand, but it's never bad, because North summoning this baits out hand traps and other interruptions on their board. So you have 3 of this, it's always going to be at 3 in the deck. We are on 3 copies of Cartesia. I don't know if this is controversial or not. I've always been on 3. Such a good card. It's so good. It helps you dodge hand traps and get you into puppet lock. It's so good. Nothing much to say about it. 3 Albion. Upstart Goblin for the deck. So, if your hand feels weird, or you just need to get a branded spell in grave really, really bad, this guy is so good. Because he draws you a card, and just dumps any branded spell or Albaz. So, it's honestly too correct. 2 copies of Clem. I can see cutting one of these now. It doesn't feel as mandatory as it used to. So, but 2 copies of this. Second best normal summon in the deck. This plus this is full combo. So, nothing much to say about it. This is standard list, so I'll try to speed it up for you a little bit. I am on 2 copies of Serenair. Same reason as Quim. They both get branded spells in the grave, so not much to say about that. My 1-ups, I'm on 1 kit. I can see increasing this to more copies. Card is way too good right now because of since Brain Infusion was limited. This gets it back in your hand 90% of the time. So turn 2, you already have your Albaz fusions on the field or in grave, so you're just getting your Brain Infusion back with this most of the time. 1 Tragedy, insane because I'm on Allure. This card is just it kind of fixes your hand most of the time off of Allure. Merc, same reason as Tragedy. It's a negate, plus it gets banish effects whenever it's sent. So you like can't not run these 2, because send to graveyard, gets in effect, banish gets in effect, banish gets in effect. It's too good. I'm on 1 Magnum Hut along with the 2 Serenair. There's a tier player at my locals personally, but this is also really good right now because of Ubel. So these are bestials are way too good to not run, and especially in this deck where they're so good. There's so many dragons that we can summon. It's way too good not to run it. 1 Rebellion. Place is lost, and it searches for any of your bestials that you might be missing. So going into like a strong like tier board or something, you can banish stuff from the grave to get some of these dudes out, just to help fix your board state. Hate to see it, but the 1 puppet. If Sanctifier was banned, we wouldn't be playing this anymore, but it wasn't banned. But it's just a free win, so just free win. You nothing to really say about it. Toxic Ass card. We'll probably see Sanctifier going on the next ban list. Now for the spells, I am on 3 copies of Opening. It says Brain Infusion is at 1 now. It is many ways into Owlbear or Quim as possible, or Owlbear or Quim as possible. So yeah, not much to say about it. 2 in High Spirits. This card is so good. It's basically Small World for Branded Despia. You reveal a card in your hand, send a monster from your extra deck as the same type as the reveal card, and add any monster that mentions Spawn of Albaz from your deck to your hand. So it fixes your hand. It's so good. We're like the only deck that runs this, but 3 Fusion Deployment. Fusion Deployment is so good. It can bring out your Albaz or your Cartesia, and those are like your heart and soul of the deck. It fixes your board basically. It's so good. It baits out interruption because it's too good not to stop this card. 3 thrust. Not really much to say about it. It's too good in this deck. It can search out any of our normal spells. So yeah, not much to say about that. Along with the thrust, I am on 1 copy, if I can find it. Triple Tactics Talent. Not much to say about this card. And so these are just ways to break a board right here. Thrust is good going first and second. Talent's only really good for this deck going second. So just more ways to break a board to bait interruption. Alright. Fix this up real quick. Sorry, I wasn't on order. Boom, boom, boom. 3 Allure. Like I said, it's too good in this deck. We run so many darks that this card is always coming up. So I ended up during one turn. I used 2 of these. I opened Merkin Tragedy, which is honestly insane. Open 2 of these with a Merkin Tragedy. So boom, Allure, draw 2, effect. Boom, we just went plus a card. Allure, draw 2, boom, effect, we went plus a card. So I went plus 2, ended up with like 8 cards in my hand going second. It was so good. Boom. 3 copies of Dark Ruler. Can't not play some sort of board breaker in this deck. I'm telling you, Engine in this deck is so good for breaking a board, but you know, eventually you're going to run out of gas no matter what you do. So this prevents you from having to waste all your gas. So you just Dark Ruler the board. They're like, ah, okay, well, you got me. And then boom, you just have Bubble Light next turn. The 1-up Branded spells, 1 Branded Fusion. It's at 1, so we have to run the 1. But this card is so good. Not much to say about it, best card in the deck. 1 in white. I'm running this because just as a replacement for another copy of Branded Fusion, because it's so good. 1 in red. Helps you fuse on your opponent's turn. Helps you dodge hand traps. Too good of a card not to play. 1 lost. Lost is just insane. Your opponent just can't respond after you fuse summon a monster. So it's so good. 1 called by. Not much to say about called by. Insane card. Helps us stop the Ash. I drew it not a single time today, but I would not change it out. Traps. I'm on 1 Retribution. Retribution just grabs any of your brain spells from the graveyard, so it's light work. And then Fusion Dupe. Fusion Dupe for the thrust target. So yeah, that is the main deck. We'll move on to the side. Or to the extra, my bad. For the extra deck, I am on 2 copies of Mirror Jade. Best boss monster, I think, to ever really be made. Not really sure. Sorry, controversial. Don't come at me in the comments, but I think this card is so good. Custom card for Branded. It lets you get your fusion monsters in grave, and it's a non-targeting banish. And when it's sent, and blows up your opponent's board. So, super threatening card at all times. 2 copies of Albion. You have 1 for Brain Fusion, 1 for in High Spirits. That's my math on it anyways. You could always send the second one off Mirror Jade if you don't use in High Spirits, but 1 for Brain Fusion, 1 for in High Spirits. 1 Titan Clad. This card's always super good to send. Get you access to Albaz or Quinn. So, not much to say about that. 1 Sanctifier. Card should have been banned. Not much to say about it. Summons 2 cards to 1 card to your field, 1 card to your opponent's. 1 Renvrim. Card's insane. I don't care what anybody says. It negates extra deck monsters, and if you don't end up puppet locking your opponent, you can Mirror Jade send this card while you have an Albaz in grave, and this card just becomes an interruption. 1 Avalanatus. Didn't know if anybody was going to be playing Tempai or not today, so just figured throw it in there. It's a really good card. Lets you contact fuse using Albaz plus Dragon monsters, so very, very good. 1 copy of Lubellion. Again, this card's insane. Lets you turbo out Mirror Jade. Not much to say about it. That's it for the Branded Dragons. 2 Grand Guidnall. 1 for your turn, 1 for your opponent's. In most of the combos. The second one always comes up for me. Some people play 1. I don't agree with that. I think 2 is always mandatory. 1 Masquerade. Masquerade for time. Didn't know what else to put in the 15th slot, so I just played this. 1 Quertes. Quertes stops your opponent from being able to OTK you, because it turns everything that's not level 8 dragon, or level 8 fusion monster to 0 attack, so it's so good. one Despia. Generic card, if you're not making Mirror Jade, you're making this. Then final generic is Chimera. Chimera was didn't come up for me today, but I would never take this card out. It's too good. It forces your opponent to interact with it. If it's summoned, it is just too good. Unless you draw cards, it fixes your hand. Honestly, too good, man. Too good for words. As you can see, I can hardly speak today. Boom, boom. All right, for the side deck for this event in particular, this is the side that I built. 3 Eclipse. I would never cut this card from the branded list. The only reason I didn't play it in the main is because I wanted to play Dark Rulers. And I didn't want to play over 47 cards, because that's a really good ratio for me. I've always liked that. So playing this is a mandatory for me. It's so good. 3 Droplets. Droplet didn't come up for me today. Didn't ever see a reason to side in, because Dark Ruler is just better. I could see going first. I would always win my games, even going second, because of Dark Ruler. But going first, I see siding these in over the Dark Rulers, just so you can set these and they just become additional interruption. Same reason for Eclipse. 1 D barrier for a thrust target. I didn't know what people were going to be on today, so if they were on Fusion, XZ, whatever, use D barrier, call Fusion XZ. I believe Synchro and Pillow. So could have actually went crazy against Pillow deck. I didn't even read that last one. Wow, good to know. Keep that in mind. 3 Evenly. Just an additional board breaker. If you feel like they're gonna stop your Dark Ruler somehow, signing this in with the Dark Ruler, just so good, so good. 1 Druisworm. I played this so I could just as an additional bestial, so I could if I had to fight Yubel or anything, just getting more access to ways to stop them. 3 Nib. Not much to say about this. If you're fighting a combo deck that you feel like your engine isn't going to be enough to beat, then siding this in is always super good. And then 1 Shadow Dragon. I didn't play any back row spells, so I just played this, sending this off of your Brain Infusion to pop like any of the back row cards that are messing with you. Just sending this is so good. But that is my first place branded Despia deck profile. Thank you guys for watching. As always, shout out to Team Primetime, best gym in Mount Airy. Shout out to my boy Garrett for always hooking me up with cards. He hooked me up with that Shadow Dragon, as you saw. And yeah, dude, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.